Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Nopiya Cendi and I would like to present my PowerPoint. The topic is about the use of literature in teaching English grammatical structures as well as some linguistic components.
Well, literature is writing that is considered as an art form, or single writing that is considered to have artistic or intellectual value, because the use of the language in a way that is different from ordinary use. Studying literature in school is always about the knowledge of the literary period and being able to name the authors and most importantly that characterizes their periods. That is the best way for knowledge about literary learning. There, there, there are three introductions from my PowerPoint. First, literature is adoptedly one of the main resources used and effective means of language teaching. The second, particularly, literature was regarded as the most important part of foreign or second language teaching during the period of grammar translation method. And last, this method helped language learners to learn the target language through translation of sentences from target language. Okay, the next slide. Using literature really helps students use their imagination and guide them to develop their individual creativity because it is the most important part of literature in maintaining interest in learning for students. And the teachers also explain literary text in the class such as using short stories and novels, using poems and using plays. Okay, next. The first, using short stories. A teacher can follow up these activities while using short stories in his or her lesson. There are 5 using short stories. The first, the teacher wants students to predict what will happen next or what happened just before. It means that students must master the understanding that they do in learning that has been done or not done before. And second, one student to select familiar structures of grammar, morphology, and syntax. So, use grammar and morphology that have been learned so that students master the contents of the short stories. And the third, ask students to choose unknown words and to try to guess the meaning of them before looking at dictionary. Realistic thinking to enhance student abilities. And fourth, want them to write a background character description of one of the characters. And last, ask students to imagine they are in the same story as a character and ask whether they have different reactions against the events in the story. So, by using these short stories, a teacher motivates students to read and give their creativity in promoting their critical thinking skills. And using novels also increases student motivation to read and offer them in real life such as setting and the others. And the next, using poems. A teacher can follow up these activities while using short stories in his or her lesson. There are 5 using poem by teacher. First, ask students to check their pronunciation while they are reading the poem literally to each other. And the second, then to do the same thing for the whole class reading in chorus. And the third, ask students to rewrite the poem using the same structures but not in the same meaning. And the fourth, ask students to predict the possible story behind the poem. And the last, give an opportunity to discuss on issues the poem. So for me, the students read the poem together like the choir of the poem using the same structure but the meaning is different, and all students are given the opportunity to discuss the poetry problem together. And poetry also teach our basic abilities in language because students get the learning of the poem with the components and elements that are in the poem. And the next slide, using plays. A teacher can follow up these activities while using short stories in his or her lesson. There are 4 using plays a teacher. And first, ask students to prepare a play extemporally in company with their friends. And second, ask students to read out the dialogue but to give the characters special accents. It will be useful for them to acquire different aspects of pronunciation. And the third, ask them to read out dialogues loud and listen other friends' dialogues. And the last, ask them to write a new version of the play using the daily expression used frequently. Okay. So, plays is a good source for teaching foreign language because by using drama, students become familiar with grammatical structures in contents and learn to express, control, and inform things. Okay. Next, criteria for choosing literary text and extract in foreign language teaching. There are 3 types. The first type, of course, there are level of student reason for learning English. Next, kind of English required and length or intensity of course. And the second type of student, there are 8 intellectual maturity, emotional understanding, and then interests and hobbies, cultural background, linguistic proficiency, and literary background. And the next, other text-related factor. The first, availability or length of text. And the second, exploitability, and the last, fit with syllabus. Okay, for me, in the conclusion, in summary, literature plays an important role in English programs from many non-English speaking countries. Then, the first in my PowerPoint conclusion is there is a known fact that literature used as a source for teaching ESL or EFL in classroom has been in the key position. The next, in this context, the teacher has an important role in the process of teaching English. And the third, apart from these benefits, the use of literature helps students acquire a native-like competence in English. He must determine, for me, He must determine the purpose of language teaching in relation to the needs and expectations of students, as well as giving an interview with students verbally. The teaching can set the goal and objective of language teaching. And the last, express their ideas in English well. Learn the features of modern English, learn how to the English linguistic system in use for communication. Okay,
I think that's all and thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.